it's a story of souls that are trapped here, or people that are trapped here. It's people that have betrayed their own dreams, which people do in life because they don't trust that the universe will provide for them, or they're afraid, or it's upbringing, or maybe something that, I don't know, it's a force inside that says you can't do what's inside. If you want to be an artist, you really can't do it because it doesn't pay, or if you want to be, an astronaut, you'll never be an astronaut because it's too, you have to be a mathematician. And I think people believe all that, and I think that they betray themselves by not fulfilling their dreams. It's a short life, and we have to do what's in our heart, It's the stories of the people that are, true to life, and we try to mirror that in a theatrical way, but they're all based on real life stories, real people that have been through cancer and sickness and joy and motherhood and pain and love and divorce and marriage and joy and children. And so when they tell you those stories, it's just kind of, it seems like that's what we should be talking about, human experience. There's an incredible amount of, I think, self-sacrifice, but dignity also in that, when you sort of put yourself on hold for your children or your family or whatever reason, and then you kind of decide, okay, now I'm at a phase where I want to get back to myself. And it's cool because it's really never too late. And I think that the people that come at that later phase in life have way more depth and interest, and they're just in a different place. They've experienced more, so it's a more pure expression, I think. Plus, they've lived longer and they know more, and it's just more honest. I think the liberated, the witches, I think, are tapped into our Angel of Death character. No one's really evil. I think there's a dark tone to it, but I think the underlying current is that they're actually really good people, all of these characters. Even the Angel of Death, I think, is going to surprise people at the end. I think it would be, follow your dreams. Don't betray your own dreams. Don't lose your joy. Don't lose your passion. And I think they're there to show her what can happen if you do betray your dreams.
I mean, Christopher and I didn't realize when Christopher and I were growing up, because we weren't close when we were growing up. We'd see each other at conventions or our friends' parties. We weren't close. And then he went on to have a hugely successful career as a choreographer and dancer. And then he's kind of off doing the same thing I am now. He's taking this talent and this talent and this talent and putting all these beautiful talents together and bringing out the best in them, and they're bringing out the best in him. So it's this great symbiotic relationship between his dancers and himself, and inspires him. And he's been so beautiful with me, because he just lets me do what I want. And he'll say, no, I saw it this way. And because I have so much respect for him, unless I'm completely married to that idea I brought to him, I'm like, okay, that's gone, let's figure it out together. And he just let me kind of create and direct, and I let him kind of create and choreograph and keep things online. And it became this beautiful, evolving, emerging thing, and it's still evolving. Even as we're speaking, this is still evolving, because I added this Angel of Death character to it that wasn't in the original. Because the original dealt with giving up your dreams. The original dealt with stopping your passion and stopping the hopes and the dreams and the goals that you have, because life gets in the way. And so what death represents in this piece, the Angel of Death in this is not evil or scary. The Angel of Death in this is compassionate. The Angel of Death doesn't want you to die before your time.
So the Traveler is a person that meets me in the beginning, and that's the first person that I meet. And it starts when I'm walking across the street and I'm on my phone, I'm not really paying attention, and I almost get hit by a car, and she takes me to this world called the Carnival of Wonders. And she kind of familiarizes me with all the people that are around, because I'm kind of starstruck and I don't really know what's going on. And then from there, we kind of build this relationship where I can trust her, and she takes me to 3 main characters and their 3 stories and kind of tells me how I can help them out. The witches are kind of like the part where I mature in the story, and I kind of take on the leadership, because throughout the whole kind of beginning, I'm very timid and I don't really want to open up because I don't really know where I am, so I feel uncomfortable with all the other characters. But once I get to this one place, I'm like, okay, I can take over here and I can lead this group. And then once I see that I have all this control, I know that I'm kind of scared to have all that ability, and I kind of want to take a step back. So once I have my fun and I kind of to control my coven, I know that that's not really where I belong and that's not who I am. So even if you have had troubles in the past, which we all have, and that's kind of how we are shaped as people, it doesn't stop us, and it helps us kind of grow from that. And so when it says the soul must go on, it tells us that no matter what happens and what we go through and what we kind of deal with, we can still move on from that and we can live on. And yeah, so the soul never really dies and we're always still alive. Well, dance for me at least is something that has helped me get through a lot of troubles. I find it as a very relieving kind of activity for me to do, to just totally free my mind and let my heart do what it loves. It brings so much joy to others, and no matter if you're a good dancer or not, we can all relate to this, and it is something that brings us all together. And if you think about it, there's dances at really big events like weddings, and so with this, it kind of brings this whole town together, even though we have all of our different stories and we all are our own individual person. We all have the time and ability to come in and just all dance together and share that love. Yeah, so at the beginning when I was asked to do this role, I didn't really know what it kind of entailed and what I was going to be doing. And I was kind of like scared to do this because I've never really had experience in filming anything. But with the amazing director, Jonathan Lawrence, and the associate director, they have been really helpful in making me feel comfortable and having the best time. And I just feel so happy to be a part of this experience and learn from it, because I would have never been able or experienced with anything like this, and so it opens up my eyes to future jobs and careers. And so now looking back at it, I think that I will never ever forget this experience, and I will always cherish this memory.
The characters so far are myself, the traveler. I travel from any location, and it doesn't have to be earthly, it can be beyond Earth. It can be anywhere in this universe. These other souls in this movie are stuck, and I'm here to help them release themselves through other people. I think a few people in the town, and which I believe is in the beginning of this film, is I believe some of them can be angels, and some of them can be, or some can be guiding. Some can be in between, some can be a guiding, so it can almost be a pass-through. Some of them are here to, for me, I bring the grunge girl into this dimension, this world. And it's up to Jordan to find what she needs to be the person she wants to be. The souls definitely here at Long Branch, the people here at Long Branch are dancing to release themselves and to be able to release and be able to explore outside of this facility. This facility is, this Long Branch is keeping everybody in, and their goals are to be able to just release. And through that, we were able to do that through being together, dancing together, just through movement. It's strictly through movement. There is no dialogue, it's strictly through movement.
Well, so I joined kind of late because I have a personal relationship with Chris. He and I grew up in the same dance studio. His mom was my dance teacher. And so Chris was the boy dancer at our dance studio when I was young. So we knew each other for a long time and had sort of lost touch after his mom passed. And then I heard he was teaching this class here, and one of my coworkers actually comes to take class with Chris. and so she convinced me to come over, and so I surprised Chris, definitely. So the ladies have been extremely welcoming, and actually my partner in one of the dance pieces is actually the guy in our group, which is Alfredo. So they've all been really nice and definitely have been extremely welcoming. Even though I'm joining them kind of late and trying to play catch up. I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone's interpretation of this Western steampunk thing is. I've seen pictures of some of the things people have ordered, and some people have talked about what they're going to wear, and I think it's just going to be this crazy, wild assortment of colors and outfits, and I think it's just going to be a blast.
I especially loved working with Christopher again for a second year. His professionalism and his imagination and creativity is very intriguing, and it's one of the reasons why I've decided to stick with Carnival of Wonders, along with the many women I've met and have built friendships with. What probably was profound to me back then was, again, I didn't quite know what to expect, and there was a moment in rehearsal. I was not one of the stories, but we were in rehearsal, and that's when the stories of these women started coming forward. And actually, on the backside of the story, I actually completely cried with one of the stories, and I actually had to pull myself into a bathroom and kind of bawl, because it touched me with how these people were so brave to share their stories with complete strangers. But it built a bond. It built a very tight bond, and we couldn't wait for the next show to come up. So now we're here, and it's truly exciting. And again, it's being with these group of women and what they're willing to share with everyone, community, the universe, the world.
Maybe her lesson is, to learn how to truly open her heart and to trust. I imagine she has some pain or some wounds that, kept her kind of shut down in some ways. And then this man comes around, and maybe it's too good to be true. And she couldn't quite leave what she knew. Which I think can happen to a lot of us. It doesn't mean that it's irredeemable, and that's what the soul must go on. It will be a lesson for the next time around. Well, I think dance can express so much, without using words, and dance has so much freedom in it. It has emotion, and you can match movements to the lyrics, but it's where I find freedom, where I can connect with my body in that way, where my mind turns off, and it's this kind of subliminal expression. You have to step out of what's comfortable, or step out of your family roots, or step out of these same steps you've been doing, and try something else. Push it, learn something that's completely new, that's a little uncomfortable, so you can grow. I think the soul is the deepest part of us. The soul is, our inner guide. It's what lives on, perhaps beyond us, after death. If you believe in reincarnation, the soul will continue to live until it's learned the lessons that it needs to. The soul travels. Well, I think there's redemption for all of us. There's redemption in this one life where we learn lessons, and hopefully then we, if they're painful lessons, we can do something else, do something different. But yeah, the soul must go on. It will go on.
The soul must go on. It's kind of the heart and the presence and the energy, I think, behind this whole process for the girls, and hopefully we're imparting some of that information and that energy and that passion to anybody who comes across us as dancers or sees the show, gets involved with any of Chris's classes. I'm hoping that it'll be like a little domino effect where we start and other people follow. We are the energy, our presence, our inner self, our confidence, our fortune, our losses. As a whole group, we are the collective soul. We're a coven, and we haven't been, I think we're still discovering what's going on with the witches, because we were given little, I'll be honest, we were given a little direction as to what that was all about, the Witch's Coven. But we are our own little Witch's Coven. I think that came across in the movie actually. We kind of are very bonded together. But I don't really know what's going on with the coven, I'll be honest. I think that person would be reflecting on what on earth brought them to that place. How did they end up being trapped? What did they do wrong? What should they have done better? What drew them to that place? And why have they been punished? Do they know why they're being punished? Do they realize why they're being punished? That's what I would take away from it. I think it really does. I think it's very liberating. You feel inwardly like you're smiling when you're dancing, even if you aren't outwardly smiling. I think it's obviously very good for your health, but I think it's very good for your mind as well. Your mind has to be healthy in order for your body to be healthy too. Dancing is one of the exercises or one of the enjoyable things that you can do to make that happen. I would tell her, please make the most of what you've got and realize your dreams and do everything in your power to be yourself and be true to yourself and let some of you follow your dreams. Some of you follow your heart, but some of you has to also follow your dreams.
Well, hello. My name is Grace and I'm an extra and I'm having a blast here with my whole family as extras, which is wonderful. I'm learning how to play with guns and do some shooting, and it's kind of fun because I have my husband here who is a great cowboy and my kids who are really enjoying themselves. So I'm having fun and waiting for the setup for the next shoot, and it's just a joy. I've never been an extra before, so I highly recommend it. I think he's darling, and I'm just thrilled that he was really open to allowing our whole family to participate as extras. I loved seeing the Carnival of Wonders show at Coastal Rep, and that's when I first saw him, and I was so impressed by his work, especially the dancing group and how sharp they were, and just everyone was just synchronized and they were beautiful. And I am so happy that this is being developed into something even bigger, because I think all of these women, all ages, are just beautiful and incredible, and they have something to share, and that's such a great influence on myself and my family and others in the community, seeing all these people come together and share their stories and their talents, whatever they might be. So I'm really enjoying this.
So one of the things I think about in being the barber in this town is that I still get to help people become a better version of themselves. And when people come to a barber, they say, "Oh my God, I need you to clean me up. I need to get cleaned up," right? It's because they want or have intentions to change, usually, hopefully, for the better, right? And I feel like I'm one of those vehicles that help people improve and change for the better. Well, okay, so we all go through phases in our life where we're doing things that may or may not be our destiny, our purpose, our actual purpose, and we're doing the best we can in the occupations that we do, and I certainly went through that on a number of occasions. In the context of this town, these souls are here because in their past lives, they really didn't pursue what they should have done, what their calling was. So they end up stuck here, quote unquote stuck here. The barber says to himself, there's a chance to get the hell out of here. There's a chance to move on. The barber has been here a long time, but he's also going against the current. He's looking at everybody and saying, why does it have to be that way? I personally want to move on. And what's it going to take? Forgive yourself for your past and release that past. And don't get caught up and don't get sucked in by those who decide that that's their fate, is to stay here. Oh, absolutely. Once we start moving, we get out of our heads. We go into our hearts and we go into our bodies. As soon as we leave our heads, we're connecting with our soul. The barber in this dimension has helped hundreds, not only those that reside here, but also those visitors, has helped to beautify them so that they are able to move on to the next phase in their life. The barber sits here in service, and that's what I do for a living. I sit here in service to others and help people move on to the next phase in their life. So there's a pretty cool parallel.
I'm playing the gypsy fortune teller. I think her arc is she's in the town in order to help guide the townspeople in their future destinations. She's telling their fortunes, reading their spirits, and helping guide their decisions. She is a conscious creator of her present tense. So she is working with others to help create the communal rise of the townspeople. I'm playing a showgirl, Showgirls of the Desert, and then I'm playing an angel muse behind the Angel of Death. I believe that dreams come sometimes, not always, in the time that you'd like them to. But we can't always control the timing. We just have to keep having that hope and belief that when we are consciously creating our present moment, what will happen in the future will be a natural path there, and it's going to happen not always in the time we want, but our dreams will be manifested. Well, perhaps the showgirls are an embodiment of a divine feminine spirit that is in kind of a dream state, helping to show the women that side of their being, that aspect, that divine feminine, dressed up, glitz, glamour, rhinestones, out there with the dancing. And so perhaps that would be that aspect of the dream state that we're creating with the showgirls. So I feel like the showgirls are going to be in some kind of dream state. So that's one aspect. And then we have the dark Faustias. So we have like the light and the dark, the angel of death, and then the angelic children proceeding through the town. And so playing on that light and darkness of all that we have each within all of our souls. Yes, dance is an expression of the unsaid energies in our bodies that we hold on to. We can say things really into our conscious mind, but when we dance, we get to bring up things out of the unconscious and release things that we hold into our bodies that we might not even know exist. And so dance is a powerful force for becoming ourselves, expressing ourselves, even if it's just in the moment. It doesn't have to be your personality eternally. It's just whatever you're feeling. Dance is a fabulous way to express and release that.
I think that I would tell her character that even though she's like deeply twisted in her angst of either finding herself or thinking she's found herself or feeling like a freak or not freaky enough or trying too hard, that she's only barely begun to be the person that she's going to be. Because I think that's what this experience has shown me, is that, our culture is like very youth-based, our pop culture and dance culture, but I think what Christopher really gets about women is that they only get like really interesting once they're ripe, right? And like wine. And I think I would try and convey that message to her, because I think a lot of young women in that age group are trapped by what they expect or hope or think people expect or hope them to be. And they've got to get a lot of more miles under the wheels to find that out. I've finally come to appreciation that I'm only just getting to be barely the person that I am. Because I was kind of an idiot in my 20s, and then I was too busy taking care of people in my 30s, and now in my 40s and onwards, I'm like just getting there. Because I'm hanging out with ladies in their 60s and almost 70s that are fantastic. So I'm just getting there, I think, and I have a lot more to look forward to.
Well, I'm here because I had so much fun last year. And I wanted to prove to myself that at my age I could continue to learn and do different things. So that's what kind of interests me about continuing with this. Because it took a lot of practice to get to here. And I see myself, if I was looking at myself as a character here, as being a very strong woman who had a family. I think family's important. I think kids are important, but I also think it's important to be yourself. And I would see myself in one of these houses, maybe with a bunch of kids, but also my friends and having other things that keep me busy so that I can be myself. And I had no idea that dancing would be such a big part of my life because, to be honest with you, I haven't done any kind of dancing except for in high school being a cheerleader. So this was all very new to me, and it's just became a big part of my life. I'm definitely one of the older dancers. There's probably 3 of us that are close to 70 or a little over 70. And so I a lot of times fall into the role of, I don't want to say being the mother, but I tend to make sure everybody kind of knows what time to get here and, you know, where the food is and what to do, and that's kind of who I am. So I would still see myself as that character if I was living in this town a long time ago, because that's kind of who I am. If I ran into Jordan, I would want to get to know who she is. I'd be curious as to why she was here, what she was looking for. And I would probably end up being friends with her and helping her. I would probably notice the fact that she was scared and that she was alone and that she didn't know where she was. And so I would bring her into our group and try to help her and kind of see what, you know, we could all do to untrap her, you know, and to figure out why she was here and where she needed to go. So I kind of see my character as that.
Actually, Patty just offered to come up and be in this, like everybody else is here and volunteering their time.
Jonathan said, "Do you want to be in a movie?"
Oh, that would happen?
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, I said it to strangers and it doesn't go as well. Hey, you want to be in my movie?
Yeah.
Hey, come here. But it worked this time, so it's a good thing. The dancing is amazing. Yeah, the dancing, Christopher has done an amazing job putting the dancing together, and the choreography, the dancers themselves are so disciplined and so well trained, and they're just going take after take after take. Do it again, let's do it again, let's do it again, to get all the different angles, and they hit it perfectly every time. A great testament not only to Christopher, the choreographer, but also to the dancers. And so this is the man that's been putting together the dancing I was talking about. This is Christopher Childers. Did I pronounce that right?
It's perfect.
Okay, good. And I'm Jonathan something. And
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do this for a while. It's finally here.
Right.
Yeah. So we're
yeah, we've been talking. Christopher and I have been talking for a couple of years about working together, and then this project came up, which is derived of something he did last year on stage, and we're picking it up from there and taking it to cinema.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm 6 or 7. I'm gonna be in the movie with my mom. The deepest part of myself is my conscience. I don't really know, but we'll go something. Yeah, but what I know that goes on in my conscience is very strong personality.
Give me that one more time.
Bye, everybody.